Well, I think I said this a little bit earlier, and we come off a good win, and then you go home and you're gonna kick back and relax, and get your bowl of ice cream, then you put on the TV, and then you watch Ohio State. So then you don't sleep the rest of the night. You don't get a chance to enjoy the win, and now all you do is worry about what you're gonna do. So it's been a beautiful weekend, and a long few days, and now I'll take any questions about why we've had those particular mind thoughts. So,
Flavor ice cream.
what type? A little bit of yogurt, then I slide a little chocolate chip cookie dough in there. So,
Jerry, senior day Saturday. Can you just what is every senior class probably means a lot, but this is your first recruiting class.
well, and it was a scramble really when we got here. A lot of the kids, had been committed, and we honored those commitments, and then we scrambled around to get some. But with that said, they've gone through a whole lot. I mean, a whole lot, and they helped us change the culture, and they had to accept what we were trying to do, which I'm sure it wasn't easy for them. And look what they've done the last 4 years of where we started and where we're at right now. I can't tell you how much I appreciate them and what they've done, and they've got a lot of great memories, and we need to make some more. But great group of guys being able to handle a coaching transition, and along with some of the ones that came in. So very proud of what they've accomplished, and they've helped move the program forward.
Barrett's best quarterback in the league right now.
I see who I have the kid from. We haven't played the kid from. We haven't played everybody. And as far as the ones we played, I will tell you this, is that I said Braxton Miller, when we started the year, was the best quarterback and maybe one of the best in the country, And it's one of those things I would tell you is that Braxton's very, very good, but this young man, they've done a great job of bringing him along, and he has the same type of running ability, but he throws the ball better right now, I believe, than what Braxton did, and Braxton threw it good. But this kid's on fire right now, and his receivers are, we haven't seen anybody receiver like this since we played TCU. I mean, that type of speed. So they're built for speed. They do a great job of recruiting, and and they've done a great job of developing that young man, and from the start to where he's at now.
Surprise you that they put up the points and the production they had against a defense like Michigan's?
Yeah, well, I knew they were pretty good, but that just emphasized how good they are, because I know how good Michigan State's defense is. But they were able to run the ball. They were able to throw it, and again, he threw it with such accuracy, and they keep you off balance because you got to stop him on the run game, or he's going to run, and their tailback's very good. And then about the time you have to line up and stop the run, you got to play coverage, and he gets people one-on-one, and he hits them all the time. And it doesn't matter. And his receivers are good. I mean, they're just executing at a high level. So, yes, I mean, I didn't think that they would be able to put that many points on the board.
Jerry, when you look at an offense that puts up that kind of points, everybody's going to focus on your defense, but how important is it that your own offense can control the ball past on those 10, 12-play drives?
It's essential, and I think you have to be patient, and you got to be smart. It's the same thing as last week. You cannot turn over the ball. You just can't. And you can't do that in any game. If you look at us, is when we don't turn it over and we're able to run the ball, and I don't know exactly what the stats over 100 yards or 200 yards, we've been pretty successful. And then the other thing is, just like we did last week, you cannot get in third and long against them because of their pass rushing abilities. They've got great defensive ends, so you can't do that, and you got to be able to handle him. So it's really kind of the same principles we went into last field position, because they do a great job of the kicking game. A lot of people don't talk about their kicking game. Their kicking game is very good, and we take pride in our kicking game. So it's going to be a very similar as far as plan to beat them. And then you got it on defense. You can't give them the big play. Can't give them the big play, and you got to find a way to keep that quarterback under control. I mean, there's no question, and get them in third and long, so you can you can deal with them a little bit easier.
Do you feel like your defense is coming off one of the best games since you've been here, and how much can that help you going against this?
Well, I think our kids are, played with a great deal of confidence, with discipline, on Saturday, and we tackled well. We created some turnovers, and again, against Ohio State, with the athletes they have, you're going to be in some one-on-one situations, and we're going to have to tackle very well, and we're going to have to be disciplined. You jump everybody down there on the dive, and the quarterback pulls it, and he's one-on-one with somebody, or somebody makes a mistake. It's a big play. So we didn't do that against Iowa. We played against a great deal of discipline. As far as the run, we got every gap filled. Our safeties did a great job. We were able to take away what they do good. The problem is with Ohio State, they're double-edged swords. You take the run game away from them, and they're going to hit you over the top. So they're different to defend because their receivers and their skill people are as good as anybody in the country. And I think that's pretty evident after Saturday night's performance.
What do you think Max Williams has come the most from freshman to sophomore year?
Well, he's been good when he's a freshman, and we probably hadn't done a good enough job with him. But as you grow and as your quarterback grows and protection grows, all that kind of stuff, it allows him to do more things. But he played a tremendous game on Saturday. But one thing I would tell you, a lot of people concentrate on his receptions, but he had a very good game executing his blocking assignments. And so he's just great. He's a great player, great athlete. And the biggest thing he's put on weight, I think Max weighed about 200 pounds, something like that, played quarterback. And, he's in that, I'm guessing 240, 245, somewhere in there, maybe even 250, I don't know. But he's gotten stronger, he's gotten bigger, and that's kind of the recruiting, philosophy. However, Coach Miller talked about that. You knew he was good because of his daddy. Daddy was good, and everybody says his mom was the best athlete, all of them. So, and his dad played in the NFL, so I'd say that's a pretty good bloodline. So, he's a good player.
Jerry, the way you guys used KJ May on Saturday, was that something that you guys have been holding on to, or would you have liked to have done that maybe even earlier in the year?
No, it's more about what the defense gave us. And you're getting up the field defenses like Ohio State's they're going to play in the defensive line like every snap's a pass rush. They're going to get defensive ends up the field and those kind of things. Iowa's a team that plays more on the line of scrimmage. They're a read defense. They're not, they're a different style than I got to go back and think. Most of the people we played have gotten up the field on us. That's been their style. But they're more of a team that bottles everything up inside. They not going to let you run inside. Try not to let you run inside. So that allows you to do more of the things that we did. And and that's the biggest reason.
KJ looked different. I don't know if he played faster Saturday or what, but is it just a sign of him being healthier coming off?
Yeah, I think he's healthier, and it's a deal where he's an explosive player, but he's had some injuries and stuff, and I think he surprised, wow, he did. And maybe the bye weeks and things have helped him, but and part of that again is him getting touches and so forth. And he's made some big catches for us this year, but he looked extremely fast, and quick on Saturday. But I think a lot of our whole team was much quicker and faster on Saturday, and I think the off week had to do with it. And I think our kids towards the end of that regime where we made a good run, I think we got tired, and it's evident in the game we didn't do as well on and got beat. We didn't play as fast, and sometimes you try to explain that we did some things different, but we just played faster, and we have to be careful this week. I said, hey, we got to make sure we're smart on practice schedule. We can't, we've got to be careful how much time we put in. We got to be careful on a lot of things so we can play fast, because we got to play really fast this week. So we certainly don't want to be, not out there where we can run.
This time of year you can get cold, you can get
snow, obviously, in the Big Ten. Does that ever influence not necessarily your game plan, but just how you approach game day when it does get there?
It more affects what you do all along that and what your philosophy is, because you're gonna have to recruit to what you're playing in. The South schools, they recruit differently, and if you're playing up here in this time of year, if you look at the teams that we're going to play, is Ohio State runs the ball, Nebraska runs the ball, and Wisconsin runs the ball, and guess where we're all located. So I mean, that's they may run it a different way, but you have to run the ball when you're where we're at in the upper Midwest, where if you're in great weather all the time, you can do things a lot differently. That's why I say we need to get some of those southern teams up here about this time of year. Get them up here when it's snowing and cold and so forth. But that's what you have to do, and I think people say, hey, Coach, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? That's why you got to play great defense and be able to run the ball this time of year. I mean, you just have to.
Talk about the timing when you play Ohio State and you play TCU this year. Your program, you think, is more ready, talent-wise, to play those type of teams than it was in your first few years?
Well, it's I got asked that $1 million question. Which one's better, all that kind of stuff, and I said, well, if I don't know that. We'll play and so forth. I will tell you this is that Ohio State's playing a very high level right now and playing as good as anybody in the country, and but as far as us being more ready and so forth, at TCU we turned the ball over 5 times, and you're not going to beat anybody turning the ball over 5 times. And they were tremendously athletic and did some good things, but we also did some good things except turn over the ball all the time. And evidently they're pretty good because of what they're doing right now, but we didn't do ourselves any favors. Going into this game, we're going to play the unbelievable athletes, and so if we turn the ball over 5 times, it'd be a long, long, long day. So are we better equipped to play these people better than we were our first year? I'd like to think so, but and we're longer in the year right now too. We've improved too since early in the year, but so have they. So it's a deal where I think we all know we're going to have to play at a very high level, and our kids they're fired up, and they'll be ready to play, and I don't know how you can't be. So that's how we're approaching.
We'll take a couple more for Coach Go. Did you come out pretty good injury-wise? I know Lauer's been hobbled and stuff.
Yeah, I think Ben's in a position to where he could give us some minutes if necessary. We've got some bumps and bruises. KJ's got bumped. He carried the ball, bumped up a little bit. But as far as losing any buddy, for the game, not at this point. Again, we played physical, so you got a few guys banged up, but not, we didn't lose anybody, which is about the first week we haven't lost somebody for either the year or something. So that's a good sign in itself.
Against TCU, Mitch turned the ball over a couple times and struggled.
5 times, not 2 times.
Oh, I said a few.
You said a couple. My hearing isn't that bad.
Check the tape.
But since he's improved so much and gotten healthier, do you feel like his emergence is one of those factors that will allow you to pull off a bigger upset as opposed to the TCU game?
Mitch? Well, I think the biggest thing is as long as we can, the quarterback gets judged, which we understand. But the reason he's gotten better and he's a good player is the offensive line has played better. And if our offensive line plays is good, plays like they did last week, and they improve, and we can protect him, he can throw it. And I think he's proven that. But when you got people hanging on you and in your face, and at TCU, man, it didn't matter who we put back there. He got some heat, and his mobility wasn't quite as good. But it all starts, up front. I mean, it's just the way it is. And so our challenge is how good we're going to play up front. And if we play good up front on both sides of the ball and we tackle out in space, that's the key for us. And as he matured as quarterback, yes. I guess the best part about it, he made great decisions on Saturday, with all the option stuff that we did. I mean, he made excellent decisions. I don't know, I think he missed 1 read, which is very unusual. for what people are doing. You know, similar, but doing it a different way is what Ohio State does. So they just do a little bit differently, but their quarterback has to read things, and he has to throw it. And just like our guy right now, very similar, really. You know, you got to be able to run the ball and play action, and that's what Ohio State does.
I think the only thing that people are talking more about the Iowa win is your post-game dance. So can you comment on your locker room celebration, where you got those smooth moves?
Well, first of all, there's nothing smooth about him. Number two, Paul Rodennick's job's on the line because he lets everybody in there after the game. And third of all, you know, sometimes kids need to say, you know, see that you're human, and it'll probably be the last time because I figured out I'm stiff, old, and need to understand that I'm not a kid anymore. So with that being said, and it was a heck of a win, and you know, it is what it is, I guess. But I blame it all on Rodennick. That's the deal. He hasn't been doing his job. Plus, he's a graduate of Ohio State, so he's not allowed in any meetings. This is his last meeting. I do not trust him 1 inch. We have a guy down the other end that handles the money, so we're not going to ever get any money because he's from Ohio State. So we got a couple Buckeyes running around here, and we're going to lock them in a closet until after the game. So that's the best answers I can give. I'm kidding, Paul. So. No, they can come. You can't. I have no problem with them coming. You just can't be there. So.